What's going on, everybody in YouTube land? It's Thomas DeLauer, and today I'm talking to you about carbs, I'm talking to you about fruit, and I'm talking to you about how that process works in your body and how carbs and fruit technically get turned into fat. But specifically, I want to be talking about fruit quite a bit because I've been getting a lot of people talking or commenting, asking me questions, emailing, all about how fruit works, specifically when you're on a low carb diet, but realistically, how it works in general. So what I do want to ask everyone to do is while you're hopping on here, as always, make sure you comment where you're watching from so that I can say hello, so that I can shout you out. So it's really important that you say where you're watching from. What's going on, Fast Max in Southeast Tennessee? What's going on, John in the Bay Area? Good to see you. I'm originally from the Bay Area. What's going on? It's good to see you. Wow, we got so many people. San Antonio, we've got Alex, we've got Columbus, Ohio, Oregon, Canada, New York, wow, New Jersey. It's going so fast. Andy Milford in Connecticut, Tay from Northern Virginia, St. Louis, New York City, Daniel in Ontario, Irvin in Ulrich. Sorry, man, this is going so fast. You guys are great. Make sure you comment where you're watching from. I'll do my best. We got Blizz in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Kansas City in the house. We got Kevin in Sydney, Australia. We've got the UK. We've got Melbourne, Australia. We've got Japan. We've got the UK. We've got more Australia. Alicio in Oklahoma City. We've got Northwest Arkansas. We've got Tampa. We've got Antelope Valley, California. El Paso, Detroit, Bangkok, Thailand, Jamaica, Fanning, Missouri, Utah, Abilene, Maryland, Detroit, Diane in Florida, another Florida, Hungary, another Florida, Indiana. Wow, you guys are great. All right. Whoa, my device is definitely tweaking out on me here. Give me 1 second to see if I can fix this. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. So what I want to be talking about today is exactly how what is known as the GLUT2 transport system works in the body. Okay, it looks like I'm gonna be holding this because my gimbal is not working for me right now. So basically, inside our bodies, we have a very unique mechanism that allows us to metabolize fruit. And the biggest problem that we end up facing as people is that we're constantly told that fruit is extremely important, that fruit is extremely imperative when it comes down to being healthy, when it comes down to a healthy metabolism, when it comes down to healthy detoxing. And the simple fact is I'm not anti-fruit, but it's very important that we understand exactly how fruit is metabolized in the body, because if we don't have a solid understanding of how fruit works in the body, then it can be very, very difficult for us to ever really get the bodies that we want. So it's important that you know what is known as the GLUT2 transport system and the active transport chain within the body. This is a very specific way that fruit is metabolized inside our body. When we consume regular carbohydrates, our body breaks it down with traditional pancreatic lipase. We actually start having a process where our body takes the carbs, it starts breaking them down, it gets turned into glucose, our body utilizes it, and it's all fine and dandy. But when it comes down to fruit, the body uses things quite a bit differently. You see, we can only metabolize a small amount of fruit at a given time. So what ends up happening is this fruit goes straight to the liver, and can actually not only contribute to what's known as a fatty liver, but also does a ton of other things in the body and goes through a process that's known as de novo lipogenesis, basically meaning that it gets stored as fat really easily. Now, I want to get into a lot more detail with this, but I know the audience is still building, and I definitely want to get a lot of people here because I want to be able to share with you not only my new studio kitchen that I'm super happy with, but also, check this out, guys, finally have a badass studio gym totally set up. So I want to show everybody, but I want to make sure that we have a lot of people here, and then I'll give everyone the tour. So real quick, if you guys can, please hit that like button, hit that thumbs up button, because what that's going to do is that's going to help me get this video ranking higher so that people can see it. And the more engagement that we get on the video, the more that we'll be able to get this video out to more people, and therefore the more videos that I can produce for you. So please, if you can, just hit that like button. It would help me out tremendously. I want to do one more quick round of saying hello to people. So if you're just joining in, make sure that you comment where you're watching from, and that way I can get down to specifically what I want to teach you today. All right, what's going on, Priscilla in Seattle? Good to see you. Awesome as always to see you guys here. What's going on, Fly High? Good to see you here as well. We've got Muriel in Orange County, California. Good to see you. Seabrook, Texas. Jason in Toronto. Arch in Missouri. Bitterich in Alabama. Syracuse. We've got Buenos Aires, Argentina. Baton Rouge, Louisiana. What's going on? We've got Marysville, Washington. Sebastian in the UK. We've got Smoke Dog Smokey in Florida. What's going on? We've got New York. We've got Seattle, Washington. We've got the Bay Area. We've got Bremerton, Washington. El Paso, Texas. Columbia, Ohio. You guys are so awesome. Thank you so much for being so awesome and engaged. So now let's get to the science, and I'm going to, this thing is driving me crazy. I'm sorry, guys. Usually I have this gimbal and it works really, really well usually, but today it is just falling apart on me. It is not working well. It's making me look like an idiot. So bear with me 1 second, guys. Otherwise, you have to deal with me shaking all the time. So it's either having this collapse and be a total pain or deal with me shaking. Anyway, my whole purpose of coming on here today was I got a comment that came on a video a couple weeks ago that started telling me that I was terrible because I made a comment about fruit. I made a comment that we should probably be controlling our fruit consumption because of how it's metabolized in the body. I'm going to be very, very simple with this. Our bodies only have the ability to metabolize 20 to 30 grams of fruit at all, okay? That doesn't mean that fruit is bad, but what that does mean is that our bodies tend to use fruit as a source of fat very, very easy. The way that it happens is simply like this. When you consume fruit, your phone falls. That's what happens when you consume fruit. I'm really sorry, guys. When you consume fruit, it goes into your stomach, and it immediately goes through something called the active transport chain. So that active transport chain delivers the glucose directly to the cell. Now the problem is that we can only handle so much of that because we only have a small amount of this. So I want you to think of it like this. When you consume regular carbohydrates, those carbohydrates are getting on the train. They're getting on a train and they're going places for energy. Train that has 16, 17 cars and can carry a ton of different carbohydrates and glucose. When you consume fruit, it's getting on a short little school bus, tiny little bus, maybe even just a little chauffeur car. You can only consume so much, and only so much can be carried at a specific point in time. The rest gets turned into carbohydrates. Oh my gosh, this is gonna be the death of me. I am so sorry, guys. At least you know I'm human here. I don't know why this thing is just dying on me constantly. I might just have to go handheld here, which kind of sucks, but yep, okay, I'm going handheld. Hang on, guys. It's gonna be shaky for a second. Let me take this off of this gimbal. There we go. All right, we're going handheld. So if it's shaky, forgive me. Anyway, once it's on that little teeny small bus or that little teeny thing that it can barely handle, any excess carbohydrates or excess fruit is going to end up getting stored as fat. That's a process known as de novo lipogenesis. And basically all that is when our body only has so much carbohydrate that it really can use that it has to put it through a process where it's getting converted into fat. It's a pretty amazing process that is quite honestly a survival mechanism for us. So it's not really a bad thing, but we have to understand that fruit can only go so far. So people always talk about good fruits and bad fruits and different glycemic index of fruits, and berries are good because they're lower glycemic and this and that. Guys, it doesn't matter. Fruit is fruit is fruit. Fructose is fructose. And if you are on a ketogenic diet or you're on a low carb diet, fruit definitely can mess you up. Now, people are probably wondering, Thomas, oh my gosh, you're telling us not to eat anything. Like, what are we supposed to eat? What are we supposed to do? The truth is nothing. You should just eat air. No, but realistically, you just need to make sure that you're eating certain things in moderation. And the whole purpose of me talking about this is simply because you are not missing out on a lot of fruits, or minerals and vitamins by skipping out on fruit. You really should be getting those vitamins and minerals from veggies anyway. So I'm not saying don't eat fruit. I'm just saying to utilize it at the right point in time, which means very small amounts, and use it really sparingly. Use it as a treat, okay? That's how you have to completely, actually, really just moderation, really. Sorry, I was reading something on here. Someone says, love how Thomas has changed his position on fruit before when everyone thought fruit is healthy, yada yada, but today he changed his position based on science. Fructose is sugar. I'm not sure if you're saying that I'm a bad person, but I'm not changing my stance. I've never thought that fruit was something that should be eaten in abundance. I've always thought that anything that's coming from the earth has good properties, and I do feel like fruit has some amazing properties and definitely has some good effects when it comes to the digestive system, but we just need to make sure that we're doing it in moderation. So de novo lipogenesis, basically what ends up happening is when we consume these carbohydrates, they ultimately get converted into, basically, long story short, into acetylcholine so that we can use them as energy. Well, what ends up happening is when we don't have enough in the way of the active transport chain, or we don't have enough in the ability to actually carry these glucose molecules and enough to carry these carbohydrates, well then the acetylcholine basically goes back into another cycle, and our body says, okay, well we can convert this and use this as fat later on. And it's a really complex model, but essentially carbs do ultimately turn into fat, and that's exactly why we need to control them. Now, people ask the question all the time, what about calories? Do calories matter? Do we end up having not enough carbohydrates or too many carbohydrates. Does it really matter? Because if we don't have too many calories, then we're never going to gain weight. If we don't have too little calories, we're not going to lose weight. Well, let me put it like this. Calories do matter. Calories in, calories out. But there are some things that will supersede that in small amounts. All we have to understand is timing is everything. If we're having carbohydrates when we shouldn't be having carbohydrates, or we're having fructose in high amounts, that will supersede the fact that we're having too little or too many calories. So in essence, what I'm trying to say is, even if you're eating 1,000 calories a day, if you're eating a lot of fruit of that 1,000 calories, your body is still going to store that as fat. Now here's the thing. Will your body break down muscle tissue? Possibly. Will you still lose weight? Probably. Thermodynamics still apply. You still end up having calories in versus calories out, but that doesn't change the fact that de novo lipogenesis is still going to occur, and your body's still going to try to store that fruit as fat simply because it doesn't have the ability to utilize it. We can only utilize 15 to 30 grams of carbohydrate from fruit, period. Okay? So I want to make sure that I'm still reaching out to a lot of people. We've got a ton of people that just hopped on this broadcast. Guys, I apologize for the shakiness. I was using a gimbal, but it's just kind of crapped out on me, so it's not working really well. Can you guys please comment where you're watching from, please, so that I can say hello? But also, those of you that just joined on here, those of you that are watching, please make sure that you hit that like button, hit that thumbs up button, because what that does is that helps this video out a lot. So if you're getting something out of this video, I'm going to try to get some Q&A here in a second, get some coaching going on, but I want to make sure that you all are hitting that like button, because guys, it doesn't just help my ego. It's not just social validation for me. The reason that I like you to press that button is it helps show YouTube that my channel is good and that I'm actually hopping on here and talking with you guys. I want to engage with you guys as much as possible. You guys are awesome. You're my subscribers. You make my life great because I really get to make you happy and change your lives. So I want to make sure that you guys are helping this content get out there. So hit that like button. And Kathy, what's going on in Redding, California? That's awesome. I got my dog from Redding, rescued him up there. Got a lot of questions coming in, a lot of things. You guys are awesome. Diane, good to see you here. Texas in the house. We got Beverly Hills in the house. Ohio. What's going on in the Netherlands? West Virginia, Washington, D.C., Costa Rica, Fort Lauderdale. Dang, you got Loveland, Colorado. Donna from Athens, Ontario. Detroit, Boston, Massachusetts, the Bronx, Brazil, West Australia, Texas. You guys are amazing. Thank you all for hopping on here. It's so great to see you guys. Please make sure that you continue to hit that like button. I want to give you guys a real quick tour of an awesome place that I'm at and what I am happy to now call my studio kitchen. Hang on, let me flip this camera. So here we got the studio kitchen. You've probably seen some of my content coming in there. So fully functional kitchen. Going to start doing a lot more stuff there. You're going to start seeing actually some live cooking videos, which are going to be great. I'm going to start doing some live broadcasts that are actually live cooking videos so you guys can engage. Going to have a lot of fun with it, so I'm super excited to bring that to you guys. But you guys ready for this? You guys have asked for it. I want to make sure before I flip this camera around and show you what's going on behind me, that you guys comment and let me know if you want to start seeing some helpful workout content. Check this out. I am pretty stoked to finally, now it's not fully done yet, don't get me wrong. I don't have the mirrors up yet. I don't have, the logos up yet, but we've got everything that I can start showing you some awesome equipment, awesome workouts. Some pieces are still down, like I haven't fully assembled the cable machine yet. Got everything set up, squat rack, everything's gonna be awesome. Nice leg press. You guys notice something here going on here, and that's the fact that I don't have a lot of machines. I'm all about as much in the way of just functional training as humanly possible. So how cool is it that we can go from gym and just be like, hey guys, it's time to cook. So I am super stoked to be able to bring this to you guys. And I have to say, this is all just a big thank you to you guys. You guys have made this channel possible. You have made so much possible. And because of that, I'm able to bring you even better content. Because of you guys liking my channel, because of you guys following what I do, because of you guys being here and being a part of this, I'm now able to bring you even more content. So the kind of content I'm going to bring to you as far as workouts are concerned, believe it or not, are not going to be the typical fitness style content. It's not going to be that kind of thing. It's going to be much more in the way of what can you do to feel better, to train better, to be healthier, just like all my kitchen content is. Okay, when it comes down to ketosis, when it comes down to all these things, training properly and doing things right are going to be absolutely critical for your success with any kind of diet program. So I want to make sure that I'm teaching you guys the right way. So get ready to start seeing some more of that. Guys, if you can, please hit that thumbs up button. Please hit that like button. It's going to help me out a lot, help this video out a lot. Someone just asked, when do you train if you're doing a 24-hour fast? That is a really good question. If you're doing a 24-hour fast, train at the beginning of your fast. Simply because it's going to activate a lot of different hormonal responses in your body. And if you were to train at the end of your fast, at a 24-hour fast, you would be very, very, very tired. Okay, now you have a lot of benefits that happen in a 24-hour fast, right? You get a lot of mental benefits, you get a lot of beta-hydroxybutyrate benefits, you get immune system benefits, you get so much, but what we have to make sure that we're aware of is your overall glycogen levels are going to be low. You're not going to be in a position to really be working out at that point in time. So what you're going to want to do is work out at the beginning of your fast, start eliciting that metabolic response, elicit a good fat burning response, get your body leveraging fat as a source of fuel, and then go right into your fasting period. I will tell you, it's going to make the beginning portion of your fast significantly more difficult, but that's okay. It's okay. The first couple hours are going to be tough, but the benefits are going to be significantly better. So I hope that answers your question. Any other questions that want to come in regarding the world of fasting or regarding, someone asked, what's the relation, actually that was a good question, I want to go back to that. What's the relationship between caffeine and insulin? I'd imagine it's best to only drink water during your daily fast. Super good question. Caffeine does actually affect your insulin levels. But here's the big but. Caffeine will only affect your insulin levels if you have, sorry about the shaking, guys. Caffeine will only really affect your insulin levels if you have a lot of carbs in your system already. Caffeine has an interesting ability to actually take glycogen out of the muscle and put it into the bloodstream, which means that you can artificially spike your insulin by having caffeine because you're pulling that glucose back out, and that can have an effect on your insulin. But that doesn't mean that caffeine is not okay during a fast. I consume caffeine during a fast, it's okay. And someone says that I mentioned before you should train in a fasted state. Yeah, when I say that, I mean at the beginning of your 24-hour fast, if you went to bed at say 9 p.m. and you had stopped eating at that, prior to that, get up in the morning and then train. So you're still fasted. When I say train in a fasted state, I'm talking to people that aren't necessarily fasting. I'm talking to people that just got out of bed and they're starting their day. I want them to still train when they're in that fasted state. So that's what I mean by that. I hope that clears it up. So anyway, caffeine in a fast, you're okay. Just don't add the sweeteners to it. Don't add the creamers to it, things like that. Someone asked if I could do a video discussing bone broth. I've done a number of videos that address bone broth. I could do a specific video on bone broth. Those of you that know me, know that I work with the guys at Kettle and Fire, so I'm always talking about bone broth just because I work closely with a bone broth company, which I think upset a few people because I've done some videos that talk about bone broth and I promote Kettle and Fire, but guys, I'm gonna talk about products that I like and promote products that I like. I don't promote many of them, so, but yeah, I am gonna do more around bone broth and help you out a little bit more. Black coffee for energy boost won't kill your fast. Correct, it won't. Can you fast on ACV? That is a tremendously good question. Technically, yes, okay? Technically, it's not gonna break a fast. Technically, you're okay. But if you wanna get super, super technical, there is some calorie impact. So some people will say that it will break a fast. There's not an insulin response, so I don't think it's gonna break a fast. I consume it, I still test my blood markers. I don't feel like I'm breaking a fast. A lot of people don't feel like they're breaking a fast, but the diehard people will tell you that it does break a fast. So use your discretion on it. You're gonna get all the benefits. I've tested my hormone levels, I've gotten the blood work done, and I do know that I still get all the benefit of fasting when I still have apple cider vinegar. Jeff, you asked about lectins. You are saying that veggies are great, but now all the buzz that veggies are lectins. I filmed a video last week on lectins because so many have asked. So I want you to make sure that you're staying close by in the next week because I will post this video up about lectins. The long story short, lectins are not bad, okay? You just have to control them. Don't eat a ton of beans. Don't eat a ton of black beans in one sitting, okay? That's how lectins work. You just don't want to be consuming a lot of them. So anyway, I digress, but that's gonna be up next week and you can learn a little bit more about that. For those of you that just joined in, can you please, someone says you wish I'd relax and speak slower. I have a lot of ground that I try to cover on these things because I only have a small amount of time. So I would love to be able to relax and speak slower and relax altogether, but I also try to engage as much as I can and get as much as I possibly can done in like 20 minutes. Brian, you asked about carb cycling and ketosis and carb cycling. Good question. The thing is, is, technically speaking, when you start carb cycling, you're breaking your ketogenic diet, right? So you're not really going into a full-blown ketosis diet. But what I want you to understand is that there's really a couple different ways that we can look at ketosis, okay? Excuse me. There's therapeutic ketosis, where we're going really high fat, low carb, moderately low protein. Excuse me, I have a cough. But then there's flat out just carb cycling and more of a bodybuilder fitness style approach to ketosis. That is something that you have to decide internally what you want to do. If you're just going that cycling approach, you don't get as many of the therapeutic benefits, like the anti-aging effects of ketosis. You don't get like the same anti-cancer effects that you might get. You don't get the same immune system effects. But what you do get is the fat loss and the physiological effects. So you have to ask yourself, what are you after? Are you after the long-term ketosis effects that are going to make you a healthier person long-term, or are you after it for the really the cosmetic benefits? Now, don't get me wrong. Living a low-carb, high-fat lifestyle, in my opinion, is a healthy way to be no matter what, whether you're going full-blown keto or you're just going low carb. So I'm not negating it at all, but I am definitely saying that you want to make sure that you're doing your ketosis diet for the right reason. By carb cycling, you knock yourself out of ketosis and you wreak some havoc on your body. It's very taxing to go in and out of ketosis all the time. That being said, when I am on a heavy lifting regime, when I am on at a period of time where I'm doing a lot more lifting and working out a lot more, I will carb cycle. I will once a week, I will go ahead and I will fast. And when I break my fast, I will load up on some carbs. Okay, but I will load up on the right carbs. I'll load up on very low glycemic carbs. So I hope that helps. We've got Arch. He says, thank you, Thomas. I'm a doc, have written a book, and appreciate your approach to health, fitness, and fasting diet. Hope we talk soon. I appreciate even a doctor coming on here and saying that. That means a lot to me. That's awesome. Guys, if you just joining in here, please make sure you comment where you're watching from, but also please, please, please hit that like button. We've only got 400 likes on this video as of right now, and I need to get those likes up simply because, I'll tell you this honestly, YouTube is becoming a lot more like Facebook, and which sucks. It's why I got into YouTube instead of Facebook, because I didn't want to be persuaded by the social validation and the polished reality of likes. But I'll tell you why the thumbs up really work on these cases. YouTube wants to see videos that their fans like, okay? So YouTube looks at these videos and they say, oh, Thomas's fans like his videos. They thumb them up a lot. They give him good feedback. They comment on them. Those kinds of things help, because now YouTube sees me as an engaged personality, someone that's engaged with my channel, which I always try to do. I'm really good about that. So I want to make sure that you guys understand that. That's why I'm asking you to hit that thumbs up button. It's not just because I'm being annoying. It's because I sincerely am asking a favor of you guys to do that, because it helps out a lot. I will say, honestly, you guys here on YouTube are way better than the Facebook crew anyway. Someone says, what's the like button? It's just that thumbs up button. You should see it. You guys, okay, I'm gonna take 2 more questions and then I gotta roll. I gotta go home, and you're gonna like this, I'm having some sprouted almond crusted chicken salad. So it's really, really awesome. And if you go on Facebook, I'll put a picture up of it. Anyway, guys, can you eat too much fat? Actually, someone asked a really good question, microwaves, good or bad? That is a really good question to ask. Here's the thing, I did a video a little while ago. The microwave is, I'm gonna get some haters for this, but the truth is I wanna give you the honest truth, okay? I'm all about living an organic, down-to-earth lifestyle, right? But here's the thing. The microwave is not bad unless you're standing close to it. The microwave has been shown to actually preserve more nutrients. Now, I sound crazy saying this, and personally, I will tell you, I don't cook with a microwave much. Do you see one in this kitchen? No. But I'm gonna give you the facts, because that's how it goes. The microwave has been shown to actually preserve more nutrients in veggies than other methods of cooking. Now, that doesn't mean that it's good. That doesn't mean that it's a great thing to do. That doesn't mean that you should cook all your food in a microwave. But it does mean that at least when it comes down to preserving nutrients in veggies, it's probably the easiest way to cook them. But I will say this with a big but. If you're standing in that proximity of that microwave, that is not a good thing to be around all the time. That has been proven, okay? So take it with a grain of salt, do what you want to do with it, but I'm just giving you the honest opinion and giving you the facts, okay? Someone had asked another question about fasting. I'm happy to answer some of the questions. Someone asked, intermittent fasting okay to do if you're trying to build muscle? Absolutely, because you can actually spike your insulin when you break your fast and get a big benefit of it. Heavy whipping cream, good or bad? Guys, I think you know my facts on dairy. I'm not a big fan of dairy. Do whatever you can to keep the dairy minimal. I know it's hard to avoid on a ketogenic diet, but you do want to do what you can to keep it low, okay? We've got things like BCM7. We've got all these other components of milk and dairy that are not good, and that's what we need to control. Ketosis is an anti-inflammatory diet. Don't add inflammatory compounds to it. Guys, I have to jump off here, but if you like these broadcasts, do me a favor. Just comment more broadcasts and comment what days of the week are good for broadcasts for you guys. I'm trying different days to see which days work best for people, but sometimes it's hard to really get an idea. But before I go, for those of you that just joined in, let me show a quick tour of the studio. Okay, I got the kitchen studio. Obviously, you know that part. Everything's all good there. Okay. Doing a lot of, this is kind of the wood backdrop that I do a lot of educational pieces on, put a TV and whiteboard up there sometimes. All right. So now I've got cable machine all set up. Got a nice, totally cool leg press. I'm usually not a big fan of machines, but I like leg presses. Okay, got the bench press, got the old VKR machine, got my squat rack all squared away there, got the barbell rack, and I'm really happy to have dumbbells at least up to 100. So that way I can start bringing you guys some good content. Anyway, you guys, I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. You guys are super awesome. Thank you for being a part of this broadcast. Thank you for watching my videos as always. And I appreciate you being here. And keep posted. I'll make sure that I keep putting up the videos as I always do. If you have ideas for videos, post them below. I will read through these comments, I always do. Make sure you share these videos with your friends. And as always, please, please, please keep on staying healthy and doing what you do to be the best version of yourself. I love you guys. You guys are great. See you soon.